Have you ever looked at someone doing something so completely random, but with an incredible amount of skill, and you ask yourself, and like, when did you learn to do that? Because we hang together. How are you not doing donuts on a forklift? Well, let me introduce you to something called the HobbyX. So I went to the 2023 edition of the HobbyX, so I can tell you what it is, when it is, where it's held, who's it for, and most importantly, how it is. Basically, the HobbyX is a trade and consumer show for a variety of hobbies and crafts, and it just puts people in the craft space and hobby space together, both from a consumer and both from a consumer and supplier perspective, and you get stores that are giving really great discounts there because the people that they really want to buy their stuff are there, and then the people that really need that stuff are also there. So it basically puts that community of people together where you get to essentially enjoy being around people that are like you and like the things you do, this kind of stuff, weird stuff. Basically, the HobbyX, from what I can tell, happens in the first week of May. In 2022, it was held between the 5th and 8th of May. This year, it was held from the 4th to the 7th of May. I'm willing to put some smaller 2 cents on it that next year's date will be from the 2nd to the 5th of May. If you know that you will not be engaging in any of the regular winter activities or other winter festivities, get yourself to a HobbyX and, find something that is going to keep you indoors and occupied. So the 2023, so this year's edition was held over 4 days on the weekend of 4 to 7 May. And there was about, if I remember correctly, they said 80 different exhibitors and a total of about 8,000 people came to the HobbyX just to see what was happening. So a healthy 1 to 1,000 ratio for exhibitor to visitor. So not bad at all. And basically what that is that there was a lot of people to connect with in the hobbies that you liked, and there were a couple that I liked as well, and there were a couple that I was like, really? So, but yeah, it was quite interesting and a new experience for me. I really got to see that people do indeed have different hobbies, some very affordable and some, no. I went into this with medium to mild expectations, not hot, but lemon and herb kind of expectations, like right there on the edge, because obviously I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what kind of environment it would be. Sort of had a bit of an idea, but generally it was like, okay, you know what, go to this with an open mind, see what it has to offer and see what new things you can be exposed to. And I was pleasantly surprised, but it was smaller than I thought it would be. So that's the one thing that I think when I look back, I was like, yeah, I thought maybe there would be more people and more this and more that, but hey, it will grow. It will definitely grow. So first and foremost, like any corporate event or any event that has somewhat of a sponsor, they will be bombarding you with a certain level of advertising. And this event was no different. Like as soon as you got through the registration gates, first thing they threw on you, like it was like, as soon as you got through the gates, it was like, hi, how you doing? They literally threw this bag at you. You buy a sticker, bag. You buy ink cartridge, bag. You buy a drill, bag. And so yeah, PNA was one of the sponsors of the event, and it was interesting to see that everywhere you went, this is the bag that you got. At every single stand, that is the bag that you got. And it's you can still play with it. And naturally, I went to the exhibitors that I have a natural affinity to. So a lot of the more DIY focused side and some of the tech ones, but I also found it very interesting that there's a lot of guild and association with regards to some of the stuff. Like I think there's like the woodworking guild and plants with Watersrand Orchard Association, and that deals with flowers, I think. But yeah, like there's a whole lot of communities that spring up at the event or that come to the event because they know that's where they find their people. And it was very fascinating because some of these things you never even know they existed unless you're in that space. The arts and crafts section of the hobby was really one of the crowd favorites. The cricket stand, for example, really, because it was visible from everywhere in there. You were left, you look up, you see cricket. So they were really popular with the crowds, and you could see by the amount of people that were there. There was a lot of people buying stuff, a lot of people adding to the stock, buying new machines, doing a whole lot of things. I also got myself a little gift here and there, and then I'll probably unbox that later somewhere in front. There was a section which I'll call the build section, and this mainly had a lot of people displaying their own collections, from RC cars to RC planes to train sets to mechanic sets. And these were the people that not only, it's like at the bottom, at the one area they sell you stuff, and then on the other area, like, okay, now after you buy that stuff, this is what it looks like to actually be a part of that community where you're actually interacting with people that love the same things that you do. And honestly, there was a fair mix of both large and small exhibitors, and this allowed some of the smaller craft shops to sort of blend in and be exposed to a lot of people, and even us as hobbies to be able to see other people that are offering something in the realm that you liked. I mean, there were print shops that were doing industrial laser cutters to simpler shops that were just doing some of the smaller stuff that you liked. Fun fact, one of the things that I actually experienced in the built environment was testing or test driving. Yeah? Is it driving when it's like this? But yes, test driving an RC plane on a screen, and just getting the feel of what it actually looks like. That was one of the hobbies that were on display. And yeah, I'll put a link on the screen of what it looks like. I tried my hand at it and it was interesting. I crashed a few times, but I was like, okay, I could see why this is something that gets somewhat addictive. Yeah, and then there were some stands that made you really go like, oh, I want one of those. And then you saw the price and you were like, oh, okay, it's nice. What time do you close? Then right? But I also did see some other designs that I really liked and would like to adapt for myself and make here at home. Something that I'll definitely be trying in the coming months. Then there was this guy that really helped me with a problem I've been trying to solve with one of my projects. He gave me some great advice on how I could go about it without having to buy expensive tools that I don't need or will use. So he really gave me some great advice. To be quite honest, with the whole event, I was not underwhelmed, but nor was I particularly overwhelmed. More like just regular whelmed. There were things that I would have loved to see. A lot of the hardware stores that I normally visit were not present there. A lot of the tool manufacturers that I thought would be there weren't. But I was also exposed to other manufacturers and other tools that I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even know this existed, or I didn't even know I could get this side of the equator, So, but it was really interesting. It was a great experience, and overall got me wondering what other hobbies that you enjoy doing that you would want to be linked up with such similar people. So maybe let's start a discussion in the comment section and see what it is that you enjoy.